What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another NFL Pick'em YouTube version. If you guys are here from TikTok, just know I appreciate you big time. Make sure you're subscribed already, like this video, and if you're here from TikTok, make sure you let me know in the comments. Comment TikTok, let me know where you came from. We're going to look at these Week 5 games. I'll be 100% honest with you guys. Last week, not as good as the week before. Sometimes it happens, but I did significantly more research, and as you guys can see right here on my phone, we got a little, hold up. We got a little, it's the ring light. You guys can probably see it. There we go. We got a little write-up for each game too. So I'm more confident in these picks, especially the YouTube exclusive picks. But if you guys are here from TikTok, you already know how these games go. So I won't spend too much time talking about the games themselves. I'll talk about the picks within each game. So the first game, Thursday night, it's very fascinating. This is a very, very interesting game. There's a lot of ways you can go with this. I'm picking the Commanders to win this game. I think they're the better team. I can't trust picking Justin Fields to win his team a game, but what I can trust is Justin Fields over 189.5 passing yards. So the Commanders have allowed a 200-plus yard passer in 3 of 4 games, and the only time they didn't was when they played Josh Dobbs in his first career start as a Cardinal. First start as a Cardinal, not first career start. And Fields has hit this in 3 of his last 4 games. Not just that, over 200 yards in 3 of his last 4 games. So you have a little 10-yard, 11-yard cushion there. The Bears will be down. The game flow will favor the passing game for the Bears. I think the Fields passing yards is a great pick here. Moving into Sunday, the London game again. We got another London game, which is great. I'm going with the Buffalo Bills to win this game as well as cover. I'm picking the Bills minus 5.5. Last week, they looked like the best team in the NFL against Miami, who's a really, really good team. Jacksonville has struggled against pass-heavy teams this year. Houston, Kansas City, they've struggled. They've been really good against run-heavy teams. Atlanta, and who'd they beat week 1? The Colts. And they still weren't great defensively. This is the best defense that they've played. Von Miller is likely back. I don't think Trey White is an enormous loss for this game. I trust the Bills to win this game by more than 5.5 points. I think it could honestly be a 2-possession, a multiple possession game. Speaking of the Houston Texans, as we just talked about, this is my first upset of the week. You guys can see the Falcons are 2-point favorites right now. I'm picking the Texans to win this game, so you got a little bit of a plus money there. My pick for this game is Bijan Robinson, receiving yards. Texans are allowing 37 receiving yards per game to running backs. The Falcons have kind of phased Tyler Algier out too, which is very interesting. But when it comes to the pass game, Bijan will always be the guy. So I'd say if it's anywhere around 30 or less than 30, that is the pick. Bijan Robinson receiving yards. If not, go Texans money line. It's plus money for you there. Panthers at Lions is a tough one. I'm going Lions, but there are a lot of different routes you can go. I'm not touching the spread, really not touching the total either. I think Lions running backs are the best way to go, and not just David Montgomery. Get ready for this. The Panthers are allowing 120 yards per game to running backs, and I did the math looking at Jahmyr Gibbs' snap share and carry share compared to the total yards per game the Lions have had. My pick here is Jahmyr Gibbs if you can get his line under 30 rushing yards. If his line is under 30 rushing yards, I think you take Gibbs. I think the game flow will actually allow him to carry the ball a little bit more. I think the Lions would be dumb to give David Montgomery back-to-back like 25-yard carry games. I don't think they do that. Gibbs will get his carries, but if you can get Montgomery under 66 yards for his line, I don't know what it's going to be at. I would take it. I think Gibbs is the best pick here, but I like both of them. Let's talk about the Titans and Colts because I went back and forth on this one for, I don't know, probably 15, 20 minutes. My official pick is Titans. I'm picking the Titans to win this game. It's super tough. I am going to take them -1. Like, I think it's basically a pick them at -1. And you know what? If the Titans win by 1 point, you can come back to this video and let me know I made a mistake. I'm taking the Titans -1. I think that's the pick here. The Titans are a team that are going to force you to pass. And we love Anthony Richardson. Can he beat a team with just his arm? I don't know. I don't know if he can. I think the Titans are playing really, really good football. Derrick Henry looks really good. And ultimately, I just trust Mike Vrabel against a rookie quarterback. I do. I trust Mike Vrabel. The next game, we got the New York Giants and the Miami Dolphins, my wonderful New York Giants. Obviously, I'm taking the Dolphins to win this game here. As much as I want to look at the line, both the over and the Dolphins -11. I'm not going to do either of those. I think the game flow is going to favor the Dolphins so heavily that the best bets here are on Dolphins running backs. I did very similar math here. So the Giants are giving up 116 yards per game on the ground to just running backs. So if you take a split backfield, which is what the Dolphins between Devon Chan and Raheem Mostert really have now, it's a split backfield. You need 58 yards per game as a line to go over. Jeff Wilson is likely back. I don't know how much he's going to play. So I'll tell you what, I think a Chan's line will be lower. So a Chan is the better pick here. If you can get either of them around 45, I'm going. If they're both higher, if they're both hovering between like the 50 and 58 range, I would go over 48.5 in the game. I honestly think the Dolphins could get there by themselves, but this Dolphins defense is not great either. All it's going to take is a few plays from the Giants, and Saquon Barkley is likely going to play this week. I would go that if you don't want the running back ones, but I think the running back lines, assuming they're hovering around 45 yards, especially for Devon Chan, is the best pick to go here. Saints, Patriots. This is another one I kept going back and forth on. I'm picking the Patriots to win this game. Every time I see a -1, I just want to pick an upset, but I'm picking the Patriots to win this game, and I'm going under 40. Every single Saints game has gone under that number. Every single Patriots game has been within 5 points or under that number, and they've played high-powered offenses. They played the Eagles, they played the Dolphins, and they've played the Cowboys. So I trust the defensive battle in this game. Every time the Saints and Patriots play, it's like this as well. I think it's going to be a hard-nosed defensive battle, and I honestly think it could be a 1-point game. That's why I'm staying away from that too. I think under 40 is the best pick here. The last 1:00 game, we have Baltimore at Pittsburgh. Oh, this is a really tough one. Kenny Pickett's probably going to play. I like the Ravens to win this game, and I'm moderately confident that they will. I think they're playing really good football right now, and they're only getting healthier, which is crazy. My pick here is the Zay Flowers over. The Steelers are giving up, get ready for this, over 200 yards per game to just wide receivers. Just wide receivers. And Zay Flowers right now is responsible for half of this wide receiver room's receptions. So again, that would put his math right around 100. Like that's the estimate, quote unquote. I would almost take this blind. The only thing I'd say, if it's above 80, I would just kind of tail it back a little bit, maybe bring it down to like 70 and put it with, I don't know, a Ravens alternate spread or Steelers, whatever you want to do. If I had to do an alternate spread, I'd probably boost the lineup like 5 or 6 points and go under than Zay Flowers yards. But I think Zay Flowers receiving yards is the pick here. If it's hovering around 70, 75, again, these lines aren't out. So it's Wednesday, the 4th. The lines aren't out for a lot of these games yet. So Zay Flowers receiving yards, that's why I'm telling you guys these numbers potentially where they are. Eagles, Rams, here's my second upset pick of the week. I'm going with the Rams. They're currently 4-point underdogs. I like them at home. I think the Rams are a much better football team than we're giving them credit for. Assuming Matt Stafford is healthy, I think they win the game outright. But the pick here is Matt Stafford passing yards, I think. So Stafford's averaging 307 passing yards per game. The Eagles are giving up 279 passing yards per game. And the most important thing to know about Stafford is the lowest passing yardage game he's had is 269. So anything around 270 or lower, take Stafford. Take the Stafford over. A Cup potential return. Again, I think the game flow is going to be pretty even. I think it's going to be a close game. So I would pick Stafford's passing yards. I don't think they're going to have to abandon the run. But even in a lot of close games they've played and the games they've been winning, he's thrown for over 300 yards. So I think Stafford is the pick here. Bengals at Cardinals. I'm picking the Bengals here. The pick I have for this game is Zach Ertz receiving yards. Let me go up to the game for you on my phone. The Bengals can stop the run. They're very good at stopping the run, and they're allowing 55 yards per game to tight ends. It's one of the worst in the NFL right now. So I think anything hovering around 45 to 50, take the Zach Ertz over. He had double-digit targets last game. They're very clearly trying to get him the football. So I would take Zach Ertz here in a dome. The weather will not play a part. I think Ertz is the best bet here. My third upset of the week is the Jets. I don't know how they're not favored here, to be honest with you. I really don't. I think this is the Nathaniel Hackett revenge game. The best pick here is Breece Hall rushing yards. I don't say just take picks blindly, but he's looked really good. He's no longer on a snap count. This Denver Broncos defense is giving up how many yards a game? 150 yards per game on the ground to just running backs. So I think Hall could have well over 100 yards here. So anything, his line will probably be set around like 60-ish, 70-ish. I don't know what it will be set at, but when you see it, I would go over here unless it's around like 90, 95, which I don't think it will be. Chiefs, Vikings. I'm going Chiefs -4 here. They've covered the past 2 games, and they were a slide away, the Patrick Mahomes slide away from covering in the other 3 games they've won. The Vikings have struggled mightily this year, guys. This is not a good Vikings team. Don't let that game last week or 2 weeks ago, fool you when they competed with the Chargers. This is not a good team. They struggled to hang with the Panthers. And I think the biggest thing is the Vikings haven't played as good of a defense as the Chiefs, to be honest with you. I think the Chiefs defense is very, very good. I think Nick Bolton out last week had a huge impact on their production against the Jets. He practiced today. He's probably going to play this week. I think this is the toughest defense the Vikings have played. I'm trying to think who they played week 2. Better than Tampa, I think. Who'd they play week 2? Oh, Philly. Yeah, honestly, they're playing better than Philly right now. So I think this is the best defense they're going to play. I think Chiefs win this game, and I think they win it handily. It's in a dome. I just think it's going to be really tough for Minnesota to get a lot going offensively. That line's really high, too. Like, part of me wants to take the under, but I'll stick with my Chiefs -4 pick here. Niners, Cowboys. I spent a lot of time on this one, too. I'm going Niners, and I'm going -4. I think the Cowboys have shown weakness. The second corner spot, they've shown weakness. And in the run game, they've shown weakness. The Cardinals low-key exposed them in the run game. The philosophy of running at Micah Parsons and putting him in space. And if you give Kyle Shanahan one way to beat you on the ground, he'll do it. He'll find multiple ways to get to it. So I'm trusting the 49ers. I'm confident that they're going to win this game. Like, they're 3-1 against the spread. Like, it's so tough. Both teams 3-1 against the spread. These unders, a lot of these unders hit, but it's prime time. I think the stars are going to come out. I could see an under 45. If you want to take it to an alternate, go ahead and pair it with something else. But I'm not going to pick against the 49ers at home in primetime. Definitely not. And I think they win this game by more than 4 points. And then the Monday night game, Packers at Raiders. This is a really tough one. Again, I see that -1. I'm like, gosh, I want to pick the home upset. I think the Packers are the better team here. I think Jordan Love's playing really good football. They're on a mini bye. Remember, they played on Thursday. This is a good team. This is a good team, and I think the Packers take care of business here. But the pick is actually Josh Jacobs over receiving yards. So the Packers are allowing 45 receiving yards per game to running backs. He's coming off an 80-yard game last week. They're very clearly like trying to get him involved, and Jimmy G loves his check down, so get the ball to Josh Jacobs. The only thing I would tell you, though, is when the lines come out, see where is a smaller discrepancy between receiving yards and rushing yards for Josh Jacobs. I think Josh Jacobs is the play here regardless, because the Packers are allowing just over 100 rush yards per game to running backs and exactly 45 receiving yards to running backs. So wherever the bigger discrepancy is and the line and what the Packers are allowing, that's the pick you make. I think off the top of my head, it will be receiving yards, but I'm telling you right now, the official pick for this game is wherever the bigger discrepancy is. So I would always make sure you check that. If you guys made it this far, I appreciate you watching. Again, if you're not subscribed, make sure you do. These videos will come out every single Wednesday. I'm releasing a little bit later today, probably around like 4-ish p.m. Eastern. I appreciate you guys tuning in, though. I appreciate all the support. We're going to have a really good week this week. God bless you guys. See you soon.